Following their defeat in the Battle of the Fist of the First Men, Lord Commander J.R. Mormont led the Night's Watch survivors back to Castle Black. Learning that Samwell Tarly was unable to send off their ravens to warn about the approaching White Walkers and their undead army, it was now imperative that the survivors make it back to the Wall. Exhausted and starving, the brothers then arrived at Craster's Keep, where they were reluctantly allowed to rest. But hostilities soon broke out when the men complained about not being properly fed, resulting in a mutiny that killed both Craster and Lord Commander Mormont. As the remaining brothers fought each other, Samwell immediately went to find the girl Gilly and her newborn baby boy, leading them into the wilderness and away from danger. However, the walk to Castle Black presented its own challenges, as they were soon attacked by a White Walker who seemed to want Gilly's child. Having grown close to the girl, Sam found his courage and attacked the creature, plunging a dragon glass dagger into his back that caused him to shatter. Elsewhere beyond the Wall, the wildlings Ygritte and the Lord of Bones brought Jon Snow to meet their king Mance Rayder. Though Jon was still loyal to the Night's Watch, he was able to convince Mance to spare him and learned that they'd united 90 different clans that spoke 7 different languages because their only chance of surviving the White Walker invasion was to make it south of the Wall. He also saw giants for the first time and learned of warging when he saw the man Orell send his mine into an eagle to scout ahead for the army. When the Free Folk moved to examine the aftermath of the Battle of the Fist of the First Men, they found the bloody remains of the fallen organized into ritualistic patterns, though the actual bodies were all missing, meaning they were likely resurrected by the White Walkers to add to their undead army. Continuing south, Mance sent Tormund Giantsbane and a small party of warriors to scale the Wall and attack Castle Black from the other side, where defenses were minimal. Both Jon and Ygritte were assigned to the mission, growing closer until Jon broke his vow to the Night's Watch when they became romantically involved. Though a few died during the dangerous climb up the Wall, Jon and Ygritte made it to the other side, where it became increasingly difficult to maintain the lie. When Jon refused an order to kill an innocent man, his cover was blown and a fight erupted between Jon and the wildlings. Though Ygritte moved to protect him, Tormund held her back, leaving Jon badly outnumbered. Meanwhile, after surviving the attack on Winterfell and escaping captivity, Bran and Rickon Stark journeyed north towards the Wall, accompanied by their servants Asha and Hodor, as well as their direwolves Summer and Shaggy Dog. They were then joined by Jojen and Mira Reed, the children of Howland Reed, an old friend of their father. Jojen explained that he had the green sight, able to have visions and prophetic dreams, which led him to seek out Bran to help him find the three-eyed raven beyond the Wall. Bran at last started to understand his own strange dreams, discovering that he was a powerful seer and warg, able to see visions and possess animals, soon learning that he could also possess humans like Hodor, an ability even Jojen did not expect. As they continued north, they rested for a time in an abandoned tower, where they witnessed the confrontation between Jon Snow and the Free Folk. Seeing that his brother was in trouble, Bran sent his mind into Summer, who then led Shaggy Dog in joining the fight. With his direwolf allies watching his back, Jon Snow was able to kill Orell and escape danger, though at the cost of leaving Ygritte behind. Utterly heartbroken, Ygritte found him sometime later and shot him several times with arrows, but ultimately allowed him to live and return home. After helping Jon, Bran and his party split up, with Asha, Rickon, and Shaggy Dog sent to Last Hearth to seek refuge with House Umber, who were loyal to the Starks. Bran, Hodor, Mira, Jojen, and Summer would then continue north beyond the Wall to find the three-eyed raven from his visions. When they at last arrived at the Wall, they rested in the Night Fort, where Bran told a story about a cook who sought vengeance against a king staying in the castle, and so killed his son, made him into a pie, and fed it to his father. The gods then punished the cook by making him a rat that survived by eating his own offspring. However, the reason for his punishment was not the murder or cannibalism, but rather for killing a guest beneath his roof, thereby breaking the ancient law of hospitality, which is something the gods cannot forgive. Encountering Sam and Gilly as they returned to Castle Black, Bran was able to convince his brother's friend to show him how to make it past the Wall, telling him he was on an important mission and asking him not to reveal this encounter to Jon. After hastily departing from Qarth, Daenerys Targaryen and her followers sailed to Astapor, where her advisor Jorah Mormont suggested purchasing an unsullied slave army to conquer Westeros. While considering the idea, Daenerys met a young girl who gave her a wooden ball and asked her to open it, only for a stranger to knock it from her hand, saving her life from the manticore within. The little girl, who quickly disappeared, was revealed to be an agent of the Warlocks of Qarth, and the hooded stranger was Sir Barristan Selmy, who traveled to Slaver's Bay to find the last Targaryen and pledge his service as a Queensguard. Accepting his sword, Barristan came out against purchasing Unsullied, but Dany recognized it was her best chance for getting an army, and so explored the option. In speaking with Krasniz Mo Naklaws through his translator Missandei, Dany learned that the Unsullied were castrated as children and underwent brutal training which only 1 in 4 survived. Known as fearless, expert soldiers of absolute loyalty, they struck a deal to trade all 8,000 warriors along with all their trainees and recruits in exchange for her largest dragon, Drogon. In addition, Daenerys secured the release of Missandei, asking that she be given as a gift to celebrate their deal. However, the Mother of Dragons had no intention of giving up one of her children, and after the deal was completed and the Unsullied were under her command, she ordered them to kill the Good Masters and conquer the city. Daenerys then freed every slave in Astapor, including her own soldiers, asking them to follow her as freedmen. The Unsullied then selected their bravest warrior Grey Worm to represent them. Leaving a council to rule the city, Daenerys Stormborn led her new army of Unsullied and freedmen to the nearby city of Yunkai, planning to continue her campaign to end slavery in the region. The wise masters who ruled Yunkai, having heard of the fall of Astapor, hired the Stormcrow's mercenary company to strengthen their defenses, and sent Razdal Mo Eraz to meet with Dany, offering gold and ships if she would leave them in peace. She countered by agreeing to call off the attack if they would free and pay all their slaves. After the talks broke down, Dany tried to meet with the Stormcrows and win them to her side, and would have failed if not for one of their leaders, Daario Naharis, who killed the other 2 and took command of the company, pledging them to the Dragon Queen in the hopes of winning her romantic interest. They then hatched a plan for Jorah Mormont, Daario Naharis, and Grey Worm to infiltrate Yunkai through a back way and open the city gates for the rest of the army. After a vicious battle, Dany's forces proved victorious, allowing her to once again free the slave population, who were so grateful they gave her the nickname Misa, meaning mother. Love audiobooks? Then be sure to check out Audible, where they have the world's largest collection available. Simply sign up through the link in the description box below, and get 2 free audiobooks to start out. A special thanks to all those who contribute to CivilizationEx, like Soul Guide Medical, Sir Dayron of House Ashford, Fred Heartless, Knight of Iron and Ice, and Anaxis the Grey King. If you'd like to help CivilizationEx, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and click on the links to see more.